I'm Donna Bush with your CIGTV News Update. Students of the Lighthouse School walked the stage receiving their diplomas and awards on Thursday evening. Now, the school hosted its class of 2019 graduation for 7 students. The valedictorian is graduate Julia Smith.
Attending the Lighthouse School has made me, and I'm sure my fellow graduates agree, feel accomplished, and I learned that no matter what challenges I may have, I can be successful, and I will be successful if I believe in myself.
Now, the event was attended by the Minister for Education, the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, along with other government officials from the Ministry and Department of Education and key supporters from the private sector, such as the National Gallery, the Pink Ladies, Appleby, Rotary, and Rotaract Blue, to name just a few. And of course, finally, family and friends of the special graduates. The keynote address was made by Chelsea Frederick, while the students performed a number of musical items. Special awards were also given to all the top graduates from each grade. We say congratulations to the graduates of Lighthouse School. Well, earlier on Thursday, here at the Government Administration Building, civil servants were invited to share their ideas on the Georgetown Revitalization project. The program team, or the project team rather, has been busy meeting with various stakeholders. Early on during a consultation process, the fact-finding mission allowed their dozens of civil servants to participate in a live survey where they are able to provide their feedback, even anonymously. Now, team members stress that the Georgetown Revitalization Initiative is a holistic approach towards resurrecting the downtown area. During the early stages of the project, Coordinator Colin Lumsden said the improvements are an intrinsic change in terms of policy. They're just as much about changing hearts and minds. The revitalization will focus efforts on both diversification and inclusion, especially as current trends point towards an increase in downtown living and away from suburban living, a trend driven by millennials. Now, the ministry is seeking to address issues such as lack of parking, traffic, housing options, transit and transportation, walkability and connectivity, lack of lighting, green spaces and parks, as well as single-use zoning. Well, finally, so far, more than 500 civil servants have attended workshops aimed at improving customer service. The ongoing series of workshops deal with the attitudes, skills, and behaviors required of front-facing staff. The workshop also covers how to deal with angry customers, how to improve listening skills, and how to improve processes. Participants also have the chance to share their ideas and make recommendations on making the lives of those we serve, or those served by civil servants, better lives. Well, for a look at our weekly schedule of programs here on CIG Television, you can go online to gis.gov.ky. If you've missed today's news update or any news update during the week, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page as well as our CIGTV YouTube channel. For now, I'm Donna Bush, as always, thanking you for joining me today and throughout the week. Hope you'll do the same again on Monday. Until then, be safe. Did you know that planning permission is required for a shed? Did you know you should check with the department, as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know planning permission is required to clear land by mechanical means? You should check with the department, as a planning and permit application may be required.
Boating, fishing, and water sports in the Cayman Islands are great, but keep a cool head. Here are 7 tips for fun and safe sea outings. Number 1. Use a checklist to plan your outing. Check the weather forecast, make a float plan, and share it with someone who is remaining on land, stating where you're going, with whom, and when you're expected to return. Visit your nearest marine supply store to get your safety gear. This includes signaling mirrors, whistles, and a flare kit. It's also very important to have onboard flotation devices and life vests for each person. There are different types of vests. Some are for water sport activities such as snorkeling, and others are for going on offshore boating or on fishing trips. Number 2. These items can be lifesavers in case of an accident or bad weather. Number 3. Use a motor kill switch, especially if you're boating alone. In case of a leak or breakdown, always stay with the boat until help arrives. If you capsize, an emergency beacon or locator device can send a distress signal to inform the authorities of your location. Larger flares will indicate distress to a boat, airplane, or search and rescue officials. Number 4. In addition to sunscreen, food, and beverages, it would be smart to have a cell phone. Make sure your marine radio works. Cayman boaters use Channel 16 to communicate. Number 5. Also, don't forget your anchor and sufficient rope. Number 6. Boat operators should be familiar with the local waters and reefs, as well as the capabilities and functions of the vessels they are using. Always obey the rules of the sea and the marine environment, and have courtesy for others. Number 7. Alcohol and salt water do not mix, especially if you're the captain. Some useful contact numbers are 911. The RCIPS Marine Base is 649-7710, and the Port Authority is 949-2055. Smooth sailing, all!
I'm Jody Ann Powery. I'm the Police Media Officer with the RCIPS, and I'm here to give you some crime prevention tips on how to best protect your property. The first thing that we want to discuss is our points of entries. Let's start with the front door, and then we'll move on to the windows and the back doors or sliding glass doors. The first thing to consider is the front door. This particular front door has 2 deadbolt locks. One of these deadbolt locks are properly carpentered and the other is not. When your door is properly locked, you'll hear a click at the end and the deadbolts are not able to move. If it is slightly opened, then you can push the deadbolt back without having any restrictions. I'll now proceed to show you what your lock should look like when it is properly locked. When it comes to your windows, you want to make sure that your window is locked all the way down, because even though the lock is on, if it's not all the way down, it can still be pried. The proper way to lock the window is to make sure that the window goes all the way down to the seal and then you pull across the lock. When you have a sliding glass door at home, you want to make sure that you have secondary locking devices in addition to the lock that comes with the door. One of those can be a simple piece of wood that's jamming the doorway. We want to encourage you to ensure that you don't make things easy for burglars who are looking for opportunities to break into property by leaving your property out in plain view. Some of these items are your car keys, your electronics, and your handbags. Make sure that you put these properties away when you're leaving the house or when you're going to bed. When you're going camping or if you're taking your family on a trip, you want to ensure that your property has some sign of life. This can be done by leaving a light on or putting timers on your lights. And we want to ensure that our family homes are safe. In order to do so, we encourage that people take the proper precautions by starting up neighborhood watches or encouraging family members or persons they trust to check on their properties while they're away.